what's going on, guys? GameVet here. Good to see y'all here. We have in the house tonight Tom Selleck.
No, wait.
Y'all know him from y'all know him from 3 Men and a Baby and Magnum PI.
Yeah, Magnum PI. Yep.
Yeah. So what's going on?
What's going on?
Not much. Just a whole bunch of nonsense for the past 3 weeks. So.
Past 3 months.
Right. Yeah, that's about it too. I want to thank all the new subs I have out there. It's nice to see new people checking me out and stuff like that. And I want to, make sure you check out all my friends that I have listed on my homepage. UFO Buster Radio Network. All the players, Dark Hour Paranormal. You have Rick's Realm. You have Richie Goof on Radio Stream. Hey, Dark Hour Paranormal, I just gave you a shout out. So he's in the chat right now.
What's up, DHP?
So yeah, go check out all my friends out there. They're a bunch of great guys. We have a lot of fun. Yeah, good to see you. Good to see you, Green Man.
Hey, good to see you, man.
Yeah, you always supply the music for the show. It's awesome. Really appreciate
thank you
that.
for playing it. Thanks for playing it.
So yeah, it's good stuff. Sorry, this thing's really wobbly. We're painting in the basement here, and yeah, it's a nightmare down here. But yeah, so we wanted to talk about a little bit of some stuff that's kind of not explainable, things like that from the stories that you hear, and nobody knows what the hell's going on. I know Green Man here, you wanted to talk about this road. And dang it, I forget what the road is called. What was the road again?
Proctor Valley Road.
Proctor Valley.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you want to enlighten us with the story on that?
So Proctor Valley Road is, well, it's a whole area of Proctor Valley, but it's a road that runs from basically kind of like eastern end of Chula Vista to and it'll take you all the way out to another little county called Hamul, and it's dead right in the middle of these mountains, and it's just this little dirt road. There's always been kind of like this weird, reports back in the 70s. They were even saying there's this one doctor, Dr. Badur. He had his family out there, and at one point they said that they had a family of Bigfoot running around their property, like stealing chickens and shit. And, they would see them out in the yard all the time.
Wow.
And they call them Zoobies.
Okay.
But so there's also a long list of other weird animals that are randomly seen out there. There's also a ghost girl that sometimes you're supposed to drive by and see her just walking out in the middle of nowhere. I've been out there myself at night, and it's a creepy place. I mean, because it's right between these two mountains, so it gets very little light. And I was with an ex and a friend of mine, and we're just bored. What are we gonna do? Well, let's go down this old road. Heard about it growing up as a kid, so let's give it a shot. And just going slow, because it's still like a dirt bumpy ass road, and there is nothing out there. You might pass like an old deserted house or something, but there's pretty much nothing out there. And we're going for 10-15 minutes, and we come up on some bushes, and just right in the middle between these two bushes, just sitting perfectly off to the side of the road, was this big ass black Rottweiler, monster-sized Rottweiler, and he's just sitting there, and we see him, and he sees us, and he's just kind of, watching as we go by, and we're watching him, and we're like, what the fuck is he doing out here? You know, there's nothing out here, no driveways, no lights. You know, it's like somebody's, you know, no collar. You know, so we're like, dude, somebody's pup like run away and just go feral out here or what? And you know, kid kept driving, but we kept thinking about it because it was weird. You know how he was just kind of like sitting right there, just calmly, didn't bark, didn't do nothing, just sat there and watched us as we drove by. You know, another 10 minutes down the road, we were like, okay, it's going nowhere. That dog's kind of had us freaked out. Let's go see if he's still back there. And sure enough, we get back there. He's still sitting in the same spot, just does the same damn thing, just slowly watches us as, you know, you go by. And, you know, nothing crazy. You know, probably was somebody's dog that just went feral and ape shit, but it was, yeah, just perfect timing and right place to be pretty creepy.
Wow.
But yeah, there's also people say that sometimes you get like headlights that show up on your tail while you're out there, and they'll come up from a distance and just zoom right in on you, and they'll kind of fade back and mess with you, and you'll get to where the road starts being paved again, and they'll just either disappear or turn around and go. You know, but there's never, dude, there's nothing out there. It is BFE. Like fucking, like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah, I know. I saw a video that you sent me about that Proctor Road, and it's just nuts. It's this road. It's really narrow, and it looks like you can barely fit 2 cars on it.
Not even
It's
that.
really,
It's
really windy and twisty. And are they saying that sometimes when you're driving down the road, you might see a lady standing in the middle of the road? Or something like that?
Yeah, that there's like a woman in white that you know, will kind of seem, you know, people will you know, stop and ask, you know, hey, you know, help you, never says anything, but it's supposed to kind of like be like a bad luck thing. You see her, you stop, something happens. That's the whole big thing, you know, people say about on this road is don't stop, no matter what you see, just keep fucking going.
Yeah.
You know,
don't
lights,
stop,
women, dog, monsters, Bigfoot. You know, if Nessie comes out somehow, you know, and is there, just keep fucking going.
Right. Yeah, don't roll the windows down and be like Clark Griswold and say, well, roll them up.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's awesome. I know, I don't know what I encountered one night. One night I was sitting at my parents' place, and they had 5 acres. They're out in Minnesota there. It's the same area where I saw those lights light up in the sky with my buddy Wally. And I was having a fire, excuse me, and I was just sitting back, relaxing, and I had a couple chairs out next to me, and I was just by myself. And all of a sudden, I hear these footsteps, like, you know, just 2 feet, just kind of a, you know. And all of a sudden, it'd stop for a little bit, and then it'd start pacing around, and then stop, and then start pacing around again. You'd hear the grass moving and the leaves crunching, and you'd eventually hear like they were brushing up against the trees, you know, on the branches, and they would stop, and I'm like, okay. So I looked at my clock, you know, my watch, and set a time. What time, you know, I wrote down what time it started. This actually went on for 3 hours.
Wow.
Just nonstop. Just the footsteps going, stopping, you know, starting, stopping, just pacing back and forth. And then finally I got to the point where, you know, I'm sitting back in the chair, and I just kind of go up like this, and I said, you know, you don't have to hide in the trees. You can come over here, have a beer with me. And I opened up a beer. There's bottles. And I put the bottle on the chair right next to me. I said, come on over. Sit with me. You know, there's a brand new beer right here. Just got out of the cooler. Have a seat. And I'd hear the footsteps again, kind of or whatever. Then it would stop. And then I just sat back, and I'm just, you know, tipping it back. And finally I got through with my beer, and I look over at the beer, and I'm like, oh, you haven't come by here yet. so I'm going to drink your beer. And I heard one footstep, like it walked backwards. So I just kind of sat back and I grabbed the beer. I said, this one's for you. And I just tipped it back and I just kept drinking it. And I put the bottle down on the chair. And all of a sudden I heard kind of this little, ugh, there's something, something like that.
Pissed you took his beer.
Yeah, and then it was I didn't hear the footsteps after that. I look at my clock or my watch and I'm like, Jesus Christ, it's been over 3 hours. And they've been standing, doing that the whole time. Like, piss on it. I got to go to bed. So I put the fire on. I went inside. I never heard the thing walk away, whatever it was. It was just the craziest damn thing.
Well, I was probably waiting for you to go to bed and come out and get the beer. Like, yeah, that's why he grunted. He's like, fuck, I was going to drink that later, man.
You never know.
I should have left one out there for him. Say, hey, there you go. Sorry I drank yours, and just see if that bottle's empty and still there in the next morning.
Yeah, I wasn't even thinking. I should have left a full one out there and see if it was empty. Oh, man. Sure woulda, coulda, I guess. But that's another crazy one, It's like, what the hell could that be, Yeah. It wasn't 4 feet, it was 2. So I don't know. I mean, it's just nuts.
I remember when I was a kid, I read a story about this guy that was out, I think it was Washington State, and he was camping. And in the middle of the night, a Bigfoot came by while he was in his sleeping bag and grabbed his sleeping bag by the top. He fell into the bottom. The Bigfoot fucking threw him and the sleeping bag over his shoulder and took him on like a 3 to 5 hour hike or something like that.
Oh, man.
And, the Bigfoot apparently had taken him back to his cave. And he had his whole family, Mrs. Bigfoot, little baby Bigfoots, and the guy apparently was kind of hostage there for a while, with his family of Bigfoot, But yeah, dude, that's what he said. He said, just picked me up, threw me over his shoulder like a sack, and went on a hike.
Jeez. Yeah. I'm just typing back. Dark Hour Paranormal. He just got a new computer. He said, I sent him that saw blade noise that I heard a couple weeks ago.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he got a new computer. He's going to analyze it. It's okay, Dark Hour. Just take your time, man. That's, I understand how that goes. I'm working off my grandma's old laptop here, so that's why my cam's not good and everything's wiggly and all that stuff. So it's all good. UFO Buster Manny's wondering, where's Igor?
Oh, Igor's in the house, sleeping. his ass is in bed. When Mom goes to bed, Igor goes to bed. He's got a spidey plops out in front of the fan and just kicks it.
Hey, Area 503's here. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. We're just talking about the strange and unexplained stuff happening all over. I was looking up that, you guys ever see that video on, I was talking to you about it earlier, Green Man, about that little kid-looking creature that was walking by the garage in the car, and it was kind of doing this duck walk.
Yeah, it was, and it kind of did the hokey pokey.
Yeah, it's kind of like, it's like a little kid with underwear on his head and all that stuff. I was looking it up on, pretty much, I was looking it up here and there all week, and I guess that's still not explained either.
Dude, at work, I got a buddy that's from Fresno.
Yeah.
And remember those little weird white kind of, they call them Nightcrawler things? Those like a white tennis ball with long legs and the
one looks like a backwards butt with little white legs.
Yeah. I'm like, dude, you're from Fresno. Here, check this out. You ever see these? He's like, what the hell are those? He's like, I don't know. He's like, I've never seen those damn things. He's like, I got a brother who still lives in Fresno. I'm going to call him and ask him about that. Sure, what the hell is that damn thing?
Yeah.
So, if I hear back, we'll do an update on the little tennis ball Nightcrawlers.
Yeah, I don't know. That's so weird. I mean, it's kind of scary too at the same time. because it's like, what is it? The one's got the little bulb on the top of the legs. It's like, is that the head,
I would
or
assume.
is it like half of it's invisible? You know, something like that.
Who knows? Shit.
Ugh, it's
Yeah,
creepy.
they walk kind of weird, you know. Who knows? But shit.
Trey's wondering if you're burning sage for spirits.
Oh, not right now. I have been though.
What game do I have in the back? That's from Dre. That is Burger Time with Peter Pepper. Oh, very good like that. And you can kind of see the Burger Time with Peter Pepper. That's a new arcade one-up machine. That's actually got Burger Time and Karate Champ. What the hell else do we have? Oh, Caveman Ninja and Bad Dudes, which Bad Dudes isn't all that great, but it's all good. Yeah, I should I have another opening here if somebody wants to chat with us. I can send a link in the chat room if anybody wants to join. Talk about some weird stuff that they've seen or some videos that are out there that people just can't understand what the hell it is. But yeah, I mean, there's just a ton of stuff. And there was this other one I was watching today. This guy, he would actually put this TV on his head, right? And he'd deliver from door to door old junky TVs. He'd leave them at the front doors of people's houses. And then somebody had one of those Ring doorbells, the video camera, and it said on their phone they had somebody at the door, and they looked at the camera footage, and it was some dude wearing like the same kind of shirt I wear for work. You know, it had the name patches on or whatever. And the dude was at the door with a TV on his head. And then he'd wave at the camera. He's like, hey, you know, he'd walk away. I'm like, what the hell? They've been trying to figure that one out too, and that guy, he's not around. It's just weird.
Dude, some of the weird shit I've seen just at work. Dude, you see cool shit. I see fucking weird and just like stupid shit.
You know,
I get
that's the thing. Sometimes I don't want to see it. I
well,
honestly,
neither do I. Believe me, some of the things I've seen, I wish I could unsee.
yeah, but I mean, it's just goofy. Okay, so some of you guys have heard this, and some of you guys haven't. I want to get it off my chest because it's really odd. I don't have any video footage of it because it happened right next to me on my left, and the camera was faced on my my windshield facing forward, not sideways. So it looked like an eagle was flying right next to me. And actually, in the corner of my eye, I saw, you know, the wing tips, you know, just like your fingers or whatever. And this thing is just gradually floating around, you know, very peaceful, right alongside of me. I kind of look over a little bit, and I'm like, wow. I honestly didn't know an eagle could fly 65 miles an hour. I'll have to look into that, and apparently they can. So then I'm thinking, well, why is it, you know, must be looking for dead animals, you know, for food or whatever. But then I turn over to look at it, and all of a sudden, the thing it tilted, like to kind of fly in my direction. I noticed, well, this eagle, it doesn't have a head or it doesn't have a tail. It was just wings flying next to me. I'm like, okay, that's different. And then I kind of leaned over to my window, and all of a sudden, the feathers on the very tips of the wings, they curled in like this, and the whole thing became a solid, like what do you call that? A cylinder, or even, you know, I know people don't like the Tic Tac thing, but it almost looked like kind of a big, like a Tylenol pill, right? So it was long, but then it had the round edges on it after the things collapsed. And once it did that, it actually, instead of flying, you know, parallel with me like a bird would, it actually turned sideways, and then it was zipping back and forth real fast. Now, mind you, I was already driving 65 down the highway, and this thing is just going like this. I mean, as soon as I'd see it just behind my window, all of a sudden it was in front of my window, and then it was just no sound, no nothing. And then finally, when the road turned, the thing went over my roof of my car, and that was it. It was gone, man. I don't know what happened to it after that, but it managed to not get in any frame of my camera whatsoever. So for whatever that's worth, that's the newest one I've seen yet. So
It's Project Mogul.
something I don't know, but you know what the thing is the thing was all black. It wasn't white. So yeah, like a cigar. 503. That's right. So I put a link in the chat. I don't know if you guys want to join in on my stream here. You guys can come talk with us or whatever you want. You guys can fight for it.
About a year ago, I did do a job for an old guy, opening up one of his old storage units, and it was him and his granddaughter. I guess they started talking to the old guy because he started talking about working for Lockheed back in the day, and this was like 40s and 50s, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is interesting. So I kind of like started to try and like see if I could pull the information out of him. And I'm like, hey, did they ever send you out to Groom Lake? It's like, no, I never got out there, but you know, I know some of the guys that did, and you know, we worked on the stuff before it went out there. It turns out like he was part of working on building like the A-12, the prototype for the SR-71. And I'm like, well, you know, what else? He's like, well, we never had anything crazy, but we, you know, we got to see those Boeing balls one time. I'm like, Boeing balls? Like, yeah, they're made by Boeing, big orange glowing balls. You know, I'm like, seriously, yeah. But yeah, the old guy is sitting there telling me, he's like, oh yeah, Boeing made these things that, you know, he said they would, you know, zip around. They could do drastic direction changes, you know, and they appeared as was a orange glowing ball about, I think he said about 6 foot across.
Okay. Yeah, that black set of wings or whatever it was, it looked like it was maybe, I don't know, 10 to 12 feet, with, 10 to 12 foot wingspan. But yet it didn't have, like I said, it didn't have a head. It didn't have a head or tail, because it flipped damn near sideways, and it was just a wing, and it looked like an eagle wing, but just the wing, nothing else. And then after that, then that's when it basically held the same speed as my car, and I saw the wingtips just curve in, and then it flipped, and it started going back and forth. But yeah, nuts.
There are no bases around that they could have like stealth bombers or anything. I mean, because that's kind of that. I mean, that's the only thing that I could think of that, you know, turned on the sideways. You know, because the wings are different, kind of.
Yeah.
You know, if turned, you know, you might be able to. Is there any bases out there that could support one of those things?
I mean, I don't know. There's well, just the size of it alone would be.
Yeah, that's because those things are way bigger than 12 feet.
Right, and this would have to be like a model airplane size, So it's not that big. It's probably, the wingspan. It looked like I said, it looked just like a bald eagle, wings. We see those a lot here, up here, but I don't see any without heads.
Yeah, that 12. How big do they get with a wingspan that anywhere near that big? I didn't think they got that big.
Let's see. Bald. Let me look it up. Bald eagle, Minnesota size.
According to U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, Adult bald eagles are powerful, brown birds that may weigh 14 pounds and have a wingspan of 8 feet.
8 feet wingspan?
Oh, that's big, but it's still still pretty short.
Yeah. 6 to 8 foot wingspan. So I don't know.
What about there's a Thunderbirds. There's another cryptid called the Thunderbird that's supposed to be a monstrous size bird that people have seen. I can't remember what area. I just remember the damn thing. But it's supposed to be like somewhere around like 10 plus feet wingspan. But still, it's got a head and a tail, so
Right.
That doesn't match either.
Right. And then Area 503, that Tom Selleck is nickname for Green Man. That's actually Green Man. We call him Tom Selleck because he sounds like Tom Selleck. But but Area 503 is Higgins. Yeah. Where's get my Ferrari? 503 says that UFO that you saw, or that he what the hell was it now? I lost it. Shoot. Crap, I just lost it. There we go. There it is. He says that sounds like the UFO that Bob Lazar showed his friends on that fateful Wednesday night. Sounds like the UFO that Bob Lazar showed his friends.
Because Bob that's how Bob got caught. Is he started taking? He knew the flight schedule, so on Wednesday nights he would start taking his friends out there because they were like, his wife thought he was cheating on him because he would just have to leave for work in the middle of the night and shit like that. So he's like, "All right, here, this is it," and it kind of that's how he got caught. He kept doing it with his friends and recording it and whatnot, and the patrols finally caught him.
Jeez. So, Dark Hour, you were questioning Mothman. Oh. Area 503 says, or Lockheed orb, or Boeing orb, or an orb. Oh, I wonder, 503, did you ever hear anything of those vet spheres that I was talking about? Because I was looking it up, and I know the one or two guys have one of those things, and I tried to contact the one guy because I know he has it, and he never responded to me. And I wanted to talk to him about my sighting that when I saw the 5 of them, just to see if he ever caught the thing flying in his living room or whatever. But I was wondering if you knew anything about those things, 503, because I know you probably study this stuff more than I do. I'm kind of, I don't know, I've got to the point where I think I've looked at damn near every video on the internet. But, it's really tough when, some of these guys that post fake shit on there. Like this one I was watching the other day, it got me interested. He's like, the guy, it was a 360 camera, and the guy's like, "What's that over there?" And then you could actually turn the camera and stuff. I'm like, "This is kind of cool, right?" Then you saw this UFO come up over the thing, and all of a sudden it comes up right up to their buddies. And then all of a sudden it was a CGI thing, and it beamed up all these cows and the guys. And then and then the two that were running back, they were laughing. I'm like, "Oh, you fuckers." Totally fake. But it was kind of funny, but it's not at the same time.
Yeah. Well, see, I mean, that's the thing now. It's, even if you have a real good video, nobody's going to believe it.
Yeah.
Because.
There's so much junk out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, 503 says he's wasted hundreds of hours of fakes. It's how you learn, he says. Yeah, it's totally true. I mean, I was watching this one guy. His name is, he goes by Suspects Guy. I really like his his UFO compilations and stuff. But I've actually caught a couple that they had on there that were fakes, and then I questioned him about it, and he wouldn't say anything. But it was kind of, I don't know. He seems like a good guy. He's a lawyer and all this stuff. But I think the people that pick the videos, they don't really do the research before they pop it into the whole video deal.
Have you seen the video about the giant black pyramid over the Pentagon?
I don't think so.
I'm curious about that one because, dude, from what it seems like there's 3 different angles, and I think they were saying that 3 different people recorded and saw this thing, but it's a giant black triangle. It kind of reminded me because I was listening to Gutter on the DHP with the DHP Gutter collaboration show. I was listening to that, and Gutter was talking about a giant black pyramid over LaGuardia, and it got me thinking about that. But yeah, dude, it's the thing is probably half of the size of the Pentagon. And it's just kind of, with tip down, just kind of like, just hovering there, floating over the Pentagon. But it's also at night, and it's a black triangle, so it's like you can kind of see the reflection on some sides, but it's also, I don't, I'm old, man. I don't know anything about video editing and crap like that,
Yeah,
but it's interesting. I'd like to see a little bit more about that. If anybody's interested, want to diagnose something.
Yeah, I know that that one that gets me all the time is that Chile UFO. That's the one that you can see the aliens through the front. I wonder if I can pull that up. That's the only thing. The problem with being the first to release something, if you release it first, you're going to get everybody and their dogs after you.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. I mean, let's say if I capture something right on on my truck cam or whatever. Even if I captured something, I don't even know who I'd go to. Like, I know I could go to 503. I could go to possibly Rich. But if I did capture something legit and whatever, it's like, how would I send it? Would I send it through snail mail? Or like
I doubt
the email? Because the emails they always check your email for everything. That's my question. I don't know. I was thinking about that the other day, and I don't know. Because I know I see stuff, and it's like there's going to be one day where I'm going to catch whatever it is off guard, and I will catch it on camera, but what do I do with it? That's my question.
Oh, yeah, you like worried about the government seeing it through your email or something?
Yeah.
Oh.
But I mean, I don't think they can do anything if I don't physically have something. If I don't have anything in my possession. Because what would they do, like, if I have it on camera? Ooh, I have it on camera, but good luck catching it because you can't. I have a hell of a time trying to catch it on camera as it is, let alone trying to grab one with a big fishing net and throw it in the back of my trailer.
Yeah, but that's kind of like one of their ideas with so much disinformation is to, discredit the real ones, and that's the whole reason behind flooding it is to try and
wash it out.
Yeah,
makes sense.
It'll just, instead of falling in the category of, oh, this is something people really need to see, it's more likely to just like, oh, it's another UFO video.
Yeah, but I mean, I would have only captured half the stuff I saw, like those the 2 spheres flying past my truck. I mean, they legitimately went in my headlights and reflected a glare back at me, and then took off. And if I would have had my camera at that specific time, it would have caught it because it was right there, like right in front of my truck, like, not
Yeah.
even 6 feet away. So in that instance, I don't know. I know I'd have it, but I wouldn't know what to do with it. I wouldn't know where to send it or show anybody or what.
Well, there's there's that paranormal caught on tape show that they're always, hey, you catch anything weird, send it to us. For what it's worth. But
Area 503 says call George Knapp. I think that's the last person I'd call.
well,
I don't know.
yeah.
I think
don't
I'd
think
call
it-
you. I'd call Manny 503. I think. I'd say, dude, we got something. But yeah, I don't know. Shoot, I was gonna look that up. Do you have another story you can say while I try to find this?
Let's see. Do I have anything? Oh,
I know I sent it to Manny, but 503. Let's see here. I gotta look here. It's, I didn't think I'd do any videos, but I kind of want to. Um,
what kind of story do you want? I mean, I got words. I got weird stories about things that I've seen at work.
That'll work. Yeah, go for it.
Uh,
I like real stories. Strange stuff that you can't possibly imagine. Like I have tons of them, man. It's unbelievable. Like I got one. It's like when I was 16, I bought a new automotive jack and some jack stands. You could buy them as a kit, as a whole thing.
mhm.
Never took it out of the box. The thing disappeared a week later. I didn't find it until a couple years ago when my parents were moving out of the house. And it was still in the box, still wrapped up, and it still had the receipt on the box stapled to the box. I never opened it, and it had, I don't know, over 20 years of dust on it.
Jeez.
You could use a broom to freaking get the dust off of it. And then somewhere in between there, my dad had a GPS on his motorcycle.
Mm-hmm.
He set it down on the table, right by where he parks his bike, and then the GPS disappears. Well, that thing was gone for like 10 years. And then my dad, he says, I still can't find, it was like every damn day or every once a week or something like that. He'd say, I still can't find my GPS. I don't know, Dad. Just, you know where you're going. Just ride. Who cares?
Yeah.
So then I think a couple weeks before they were moving, I go in the garage and I'd look at this table every day, all day, every day, stuff like that. And one day, just before, I don't know, a week or whatever before they were moving, it was sitting right on the table, right where he left it. It's like, where'd this come from? It hasn't been here for years. All of a sudden, it's sitting right here. It's the craziest stuff, man.
Things used to disappear for me when I was a kid, but it would be like little things. This was when I was real young, so a lot of time it'd be like a toy or a part to a toy or something like that. And dude, it'd be, I'd scour my room for it. It'd be gone for weeks or months, and I'd just be sitting there, one day watching TV, and it was like a picture of it, and where it was would flash in my head.
Mm.
I'd go, and that's where it was, even though I knew that I had checked there before.
Yeah. That's nuts.
So, yeah.
Man.
Happened to my Lionel sword for Thundercats one time when I was a kid. Sword went AWOL.
Really?
Yeah. I'm like, damn it, man, it's sword. That's a cool sword. I gotta find that damn thing. Yeah. One day, a picture of it in Castle Grayskull flashed into my head. I went and checked, and sure as shit, he was there.
That's crazy. See, I don't know. Gutter's here.
Gutter.
What's up, Gutter? Good to see you, bro. I was putting the, if anybody wants to come on here and live chat with us, we're just having a good old kind of sit down, talk about stuff, what crazy stuff we've seen, or stories that we heard, stuff that hasn't been, God, I can't talk today, I swear to God. I think it's these paint fumes down here, honestly. Jeez.
Getting your buzz on.
Good God. But we're talking about stuff that really hasn't been debunked yet, and it's just beyond me why some of the dumbest stuff. Did it go up there? Okay. Yeah, so I put the link on there if you guys want to jump in and join us and chat and see, talk about weird stuff. I found that one video of that stupid creature that nobody has figured out what the hell that thing is yet, and it's just funny to me. How does that work, Gutter? Can you post stuff from the news on here or no? I have no idea how that works. Oh, Gutter, hang on. Yeah, Gutter asked me, did I ever figure out if ET was trying to contact me? I found out that somebody in my past, or maybe even past life, is trying to contact me through a tarot card reading we did today.
Yeah, dude, she was good.
Yeah, okay, look who we have here.
Hey, Gutter.
Gutter.
What up?
I found out that somebody in my past, or maybe even past life, is trying to contact me.
I don't have my mic set up properly. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I don't have my good microphone on.
She was good.
I'm getting a little feedback though from you.
Hey, hang on, let me turn down my.
Hey, Gutter.
I gotta turn down my.
Somebody in my past, or maybe even past life, is trying to. Well, good to see you, buddy.
Oh, sorry, I had my volume up. I apologize, guys.
No, that's all good.
No problem.
Hey, GameVet, will you switch the screen till it's like the 3 section?
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry, I'm not even looking at that. I'm looking at something else.
My face is too big. I don't want to look at my big face. Yeah, there you go.
Sorry, I wasn't even looking at that screen. I was looking at web surfing here. Now, what's the deal? Can I play something from the news or not?
Yeah. You hit share screen. You can go to your Chrome tab and then link it, and you can play it right here.
Okay.
I just wanted to jump in to say hi to you guys. I have to close the bar tonight, and that's in an hour. I got a new bartender here tonight.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I can't wait to stream from the bar because then we can search for the ghosts again.
Nice.
Yeah, that's fun, dude. I like doing that.
It's cool. I need to get some EVP detectors or some REM pods or something high tech. You guys got to tell me what to get.
I'd say like a K2 meter for EMF.
What's the most reliable thing, Green Man? What's for sure going to tell me that there is a entity nearby?
Oh shit, man! If I know surefire method, man, I'd make them myself and sell them like fucking crazy.
In your opinion?
I would go EMF and something to record for EVPs. Just things to check your environment. Maybe like one of those thermometers you can kind of like point at things and check your temperatures.
Oh, yeah.
Those would be probably your top basic 3, I would guess.
I would need a baseline first, right? I get a baseline reading and then move it around and figure out if there's spots.
Yeah, just when there's nothing going on, just walk around with everything, and check, see where your base is.
I
And
kind of like to rely on the natural abilities that people have. Where you get a cold feeling on your arm, or your hair stands up on your arms, or you get that. Last night I was sitting on the deck, and I was thinking. We did a Mothman show today, and I was thinking about Mothman and what I was going to talk about, and it felt like I was sitting there just chilling. It felt like something grabbed my head like a claw, and I looked up to see if there was a bird on my head, and there was nothing there, but I completely felt it. It was the most bizarre feeling, you know. I like to think that the Mothman is supernatural, sort of like UFOs. And I was talking to Red Collie the other day. He's a big crop circle person.
Yeah,
I
he's cool.
see UFOs that look like crop circles shapes. Some are very similar. And I was telling him the story about one time there was a orange. It was a set of. It was like a snake-like thing, but it had little orange balls like out from it. But it got so close to me that I felt the whoosh go over as it went by. It was quite amazing. So I think these things can touch you. They can feel you somehow.
Where was this gutter? Where did this happen?
Forest Park in the backyard. It was all during that time period when I was going through those back surgeries and recovering. It was like the 2009 to 2012 period.
Okay. I gotta go back and watch your show. Sorry I missed it. I was getting
No, it's cool.
tarot
I
card.
know. Tom Selleck got pushed into a pond by a ghost when he was a little kid.
yeah, that motherfucker.
Yeah.
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 It was my fault. I was goofing off. I shouldn't have been on the fucking ledge of that thing anyway. I set myself up.
When you're a ghost one day, will you push somebody else into the pond to
No. No, I won't push anything. I won't push anything. I don't know. I won't push anybody. I'll try and move things and do shit like that. But
What do you think motivates a poltergeist, Green Man?
that depends, because the theory of the poltergeist is that it's somebody with like psychokinetic abilities. That don't know how to control them, don't know that they're doing it. So it kind of ranges off because their emotion.
So you don't think it's a ghost? You think it's coming from an individual?
Well, that's a big theory of. I believe that ghosts can move things, but poltergeists, things, situations where only things are moved, I think lean a little bit more towards that. If you have things being moved and you're also hearing things, seeing things, cold spots, those aren't part of the definition of a poltergeist. That I think is more along the lines of ghosts. And that type of situation, it could be personal things that happen to the entity in the past, sees happen now, maybe somebody gets into a fight or something, and lady died of domestic violence and gets pissed off and starts, picks up a lamp and throws it at the husband or something while this new couple is fighting.
You know what's funny? You want to hear a theory that I just thought about the other day after the Mothman whatever grabbed my head? Maybe ghosts are like screen burn on a cell phone. Maybe it kind of just is burnt there.
Yeah, that's because you have different types of entities. Some of them are just do seem like it just reoccurring.
Yeah.
There's the nun that walks down the courtyard. That's all they ever see this thing do is just in the same spots. That is like an imprint, I think, an imprint on the environment.
Yeah. Sometimes they repeat and they do the same thing over and over and over and over.
Yeah.
I've
You
heard
guys,
about that.
I got 2 minutes and I got to head downstairs. I just wanted to, I saw a lot of drone talk tonight and I wanted to update. I buy a lot of drones and I smash them up all the time. I like to practice, especially when I hear the Green Man music, then the drones really get crazy and start smashing themselves. But I actually have a very pretty expensive drone coming this way. It has its own antenna. I can actually program a flight path and the altitude and the video and all kinds of neat stuff. So I'm going to put an antenna on top of the house here, and actually there's also going to be an FM radio station antenna I'm going to put up. I'm going to be a true nerd. I think that I'm going to stay here in this place for a little while and try to nerd it up as much as I can. So you guys are. You guys are always invited to join me when I go on live and talk about this stuff. I'll send out links all the time. You guys know you're my bros, right? Especially you guys. And in the chat, you guys know I care about you. I really got to run downstairs, though. I will see you guys soon, okay?
All right, thanks for stopping, Gutter.
Later, brothers.
You're awesome.
Take care, bro.
See you.
Well, that was cool. That was cool. All right. Well, with that, I can't follow Gutter at all because I'm not that good. And
the closing act has left the building.
Yeah, thank you very much. All right, let's see what we got over here. Hold on. All right, you remember I was talking about that damn little guy?
Yeah.
All right, you can see it on screen there. We're doing a full screen here. All right, now check this out. That's a little alien guy I was talking about. Nobody can actually figure this one out. I did a full screen on that.
And walks by, does the chicken dance, keeps going.
Yeah. That one is, I mean, if you look at the legs, honestly, they look like they're
real fucking thin, man. That's either like an anorexic kid with a pair of pantyhose on its head that's double jointed, or
I mean, that is messed up. I don't know, but this is one of them that has not been debunked yet. So it's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy.
Yeah, remember that screaming ghost video?
Which one?
The hotel CCTV one caught.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything about that one being debunked either.
You haven't?
No, I haven't heard anything about it.
I wonder if I could find that. And I didn't have enough time to set up everything. That's my problem. We gotta, before I go on live, I really have like 2 minutes to get this together. So it's just a nightmare every time. So yeah, 503 says he did a piece on this, that alien guy. He says he swears it's her son. Yeah, I know. I was watching that earlier also, and it looked, I mean, if you look at the kid's legs are actually really tiny like that too. So I don't know.
You need to feed that boy more.
It's too coincidental for it not to be the kid.
They need to feed that boy more.
UFO Buster Manny says he got to do the last probing for the night and was a little excited. Well, that makes sense.
Maybe that's why he was doing that weird walk, man. He's like, shit.
Yeah. All right.
I got that motherfucker, yeah.
And I'm not cleaning this shit either. Yep. Give it to somebody else.
Samples for the month.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh crap. Yeah, I don't know. Shoot, I don't know. I don't know. Oh, what do we got here now? Somebody's knocking at the door. Oh my God, it's Dark.
Well, there they are.
What's up, Dark Hour?
What's going on, GameVet and Green Man? How are you tonight?
Howdy, man.
Good to see you on, man. Thanks for stopping
Good.
by.
Yeah, I'm glad you're having another live stream. It's funny, I was driving up from Connecticut today to Massachusetts, and you crossed my mind, GameVet. I wondered when you were going to have your next live stream, and sure enough, this popped up. It's like, oh, okay, good, perfect.
Yeah.
Synchronicity.
No, it's awesome. I'm actually really excited you decided to come on. That's cool, man.
Yeah, man, that's cool.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. Both of
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, you really do a lot of good stuff for us too, man. I really enjoy watching your videos and stuff like that, and you got a really good thing going on.
Yeah.
Well, thanks a lot, man. It's only because of you guys and the great people, as we discussed, that we have in our circle, supporting each other and what we're doing. Obviously, we're all the same, just researching it from different angles. So why not help each other? I mean, power in numbers here, right?
Right. Exactly. So, Dark Hour, do you have any strange sightings or anything like that in your travels? Or just
I'll be honest with you. I've never seen a cryptid, unfortunately. I'd love to see something like that. I've researched them for years, but never one personally. I have 2 experiences seeing UFOs, though.
Okay. Do you want to?
I'm sorry. I thought we were gonna. Yeah, sorry. I thought we were following somewhere else. Yeah.
No.
So I'll be honest with you. There's something very consistent about both of these experiences, and as I tell them to you, I think you'll see what this is. I just don't know why. So the first experience, I was probably 17 or 18 years old. My folks have, well, it's now where they live. It's a house right on the beach in Connecticut off Long Island Sound. And I was shutting up for the night around about 2:33 in the morning. And I looked out through the glass door and I saw above the ridge, lots of mountainous areas. There's lots of trees spreading out through that area. And I see this, what appears to be a light, but if I'm looking at it closely enough, I see something blinking in the middle of it, but it's stationary. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Now, it's worth to note that the Groton submarine base is not far from where they live. And this object was hovering close to where it would be. Okay. So I'm standing there watching this thing, and I spend a good 7-8 minutes or whatever it was watching it. And finally, I said to myself, well, I got to videotape it or something. And I knew the camcorder, the high 8 tape recorder, was in the next room. This was some years ago. It was back in the 90s. And I said, all right, I got to go and grab this. But in my head, I heard, or I felt, if I walked away, as soon as I broke my concentration with this thing, it would be gone. And I was like, all right. So I listened to it for a moment, kind of test the theory. I probably stayed another 5 minutes just watching this thing. And then finally, I couldn't take it anymore. I said, that's it. I'm getting the camera. So I turned around, ran, bolted into the next room, came back with the camera in hand, was gone no longer than 5 seconds, and the damn thing was gone. I said, oh, great. Okay. All right. Well, next time I'll really try to listen to that. I don't know what I'm going to do. So the second sighting happened to me when I was 25 or 26. I was in Manchester, Connecticut, and my parents were leaving for an engagement, for the evening. I had just gotten out of college, so I was still looking for a place of my own at that time. So I was bunking up with them. So they leave, and I get a call from my mother. And she goes, I'd like to go over to your window, look out, and look up to the left. You're going to see 3 lights just sitting up there. I said, what? So I walk over to the window, and we had a house on Case Mountain, which overlooks Hartford. So you had a great view where they were. And sure enough, I look up in the sky, and there are these 3 lights in a triangle formation just sitting there. I'm like, what the hell? Not moving, not getting brighter in intensity or anything like that. And just sitting there. So I have, again, the same thought. And this time I'm like, all right, listen, I'm savvy here. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to stay here. So I probably watched it for, maybe 15 minutes before I couldn't take it. The camera was right within arm's reach, right across the room. Like I just had to turn around, reach behind this wall and grab the camera. I'm like, oh, I did that. And guess what? Poof. That's it. They were gone. One thing I forgot to mention is that little light that I saw inside the first sighting. I had a pair of binoculars, so I could look through the binoculars. And what I saw was, again, this circular object that was glowing bright. And inside there was a ring moving in different colors, almost like square patterns. It looked science fictional. I'll be honest with you. Looked like something out of one of the 50s horror movies where aliens land on the planet. But it was moving. It was moving in the middle there, all different colors. So
Which way was it moving? Was it moving in an oval, or was it like this, or was it moving kind of like this? I mean, what direction do you think it was moving, and which way? Like if it was clockwise, counterclockwise, stuff like that.
all right. So to the best of my recollection, I'm looking at a sphere that's basically a ball of white light. In the middle, I'm seeing the spin, okay? And if that's the only thing that's spinning, unless I'm not seeing the motion because of the brightness of the light or something on the outside casing. If I were to make a guess, I would say that the lights were turning counterclockwise, but I can't stand behind that 100% because I was far away. And even through the binoculars, it's sometimes hard to tell something like that.
Right.
I got a question on that.
That'll be my best guess.
I got a question for you on that one, DHP. Mm-hmm. Do you happen to know? There probably were, because at 90 you said. But do you happen to know if there were any nuclear subs at that base? Because I've heard a lot about UFOs being attracted to our nuclear missiles, our ships, all of our weapons. You know, it seemed like they all popped up right around the same time. You know, widely that we started nuclear testing. So maybe they were taking a look at some of our nuclear subs.
I'll be honest with you, it's possible, but I don't know that for sure. It is the area that has a nuclear power plant. I don't know if that matters in respect to what you're suggesting, but keep in mind that area is also home to Montauk, Plum Island, Fisher's Island, all those different areas that have their own stories. So yeah. I couldn't say it would be out of the realm of possibilities that this is something more common. I hadn't seen it. But the submarine base, as far as I know, was connected to Montauk in one way, shape, or form back in those days when they were doing all that stuff. Yep.
Wow.
Well, it could be anything then.
Yeah, I know that that dot sighting I saw. The dot was actually turning counterclockwise. It would turn counterclockwise 3 times and stop at like 12.
Counterclockwise?
And then it would turn 3 times and stop at 12. Then there was another dot that pulled up, just kind of went whoop, like that fast. And as soon as this one stopped turning 3 times, then this would do it 3 times and stop, and then this one would go 3 times. So it's synchronicity. Really crazy, man. I don't know. That's why. I'm really interested to find similar sightings that have the same characteristics. Basically, if the one I saw had, it's moving counterclockwise, which way it's turning, spinning. Because I honestly think the dot that I saw was actually a cloaked ship, right? It was invisible, but whatever that round thing was probably something to do with its motor or whatever. It's some moving part that they couldn't make invisible. So that's why I'm wondering, some of these dots, I'm wondering if it's something to do with their power plant or something, that it can't be invisible, and that's how we're seeing these things. There's basically what I found too is that sometimes I'll see like the sky, it's kind of fuzzy in spots, and I think those are ships too sitting there in the sky. But you can only see it if it's fuzzy like that if you have the sun right directly behind you. It's like if the sun's behind you and it's shining in front, it's almost like the sun's so bright it almost makes the ship come out a little bit. It's almost like static, So that's another thing I've noticed.
They're not completely cloaked.
Right.
They're not completely cloaked. They're halfway in between this dimension and the next. One of the theories about, some of the UFOs we see in the sky is, I'll put it out there like this. Keep this in mind. So we have the ability within our auric fields to create something called a Merkaba, more or less. I'm going to really kind of be topical on this subject for the sake of brevity. But that being said, in our sacred geometry that we all have, are 2 tetrahedrons sitting, opposing each other. So you have one tip going up and one tip going down, and these can be viewed in a third dimensional respect. Now, there is a meditation that you can do to train yourself to get back to this natural state of connection. It's a Merkaba meditation, and it does take some time. You know, some people get it quicker than others, but it's a very advanced sort of meditation. Now, what the idea is that once you bring in enough prana or life energy into your auric field through the breathing techniques, you can then actually start to spin these against each other. Okay. And depending whether you're male or female, you're going to see the counterclockwise or the clockwise motion from the top. And what you would do with this is it's actually for interdimensional travel, in a sense, without any sort of craft. But a being that is using a Merkaba would more than likely be putting off a lot of light as they, were able to shuffle their way through time and space. Now, the reason that's sort of significant is that the Greys have been accused of doing something similar, but making it in a synthetic fashion. In fact, that was one of the big things with the fall of Atlantis. They were blamed for was creating a synthetic Merkaba that ultimately failed and created what happened. And I do think that there's some relation to what they did in Philadelphia experiment as well in terms of the electromagnetics.
Yeah.
But we can naturally do this stuff. We don't need the technology. It's just a matter of getting back in touch with that spiritual side that we all possess. The knowledge is there for us, it's already inside of us.
Just have to wake it up.
Well, yeah, we only use like 9 or 11% of our brain.
Right.
Imagine what's in the rest.
Yeah. Scary stuff.
Yeah.
I mean,
so what is that for? Yeah. It's for something.
For something, yeah. I don't know. I'm just thinking if it's in my brain, it's probably scary. Who knows? probably use it for evil than good. Who knows?
Run around starting fires everywhere or some shit.
Yeah. You can't do this, but I can.
You're standing on a mountaintop like Tim the Enchanter, just fucking starting fires and throwing fucking shit.
Yeah. Oh man, that's crazy. Yeah, I don't know. It's just nuts. I'm trying to think what else I could pull up here. I can't find that one dang video I want to find. Shoot. So what are your thoughts on that? You've seen that Chilean video, haven't you, Dark Hour, about the craft that it almost looks like a saucer. It's all black, and you can see the two alien heads in it. And it looks like the heads are turning and they're talking back and forth or whatnot. I guess it came.
I'll be honest with you, I haven't seen the video.
Oh, really?
I haven't seen it yet. No, for some reason. I mean, I'll be honest with you, working on the show to the caliber that we, Gutter and I have sort of brought it to, it's a lot more work than I ever expected.
Yeah.
I'll be sitting down 4 or 5 hours in a day, putting stuff together for not only that evening, but, other things going throughout the week. And next thing you know, it's dinner time. And I thought I just, got out of bed here, It's like I haven't had a chance to really do a lot of that kind of independent viewing, but I'm taking a couple of days off this week, so I'll get to that,
Right. Yeah.
But is that the video you're trying to find?
Yeah. I'm trying to find it here. I might have to go to
I would like to
503's thing because I sent it to him. Let's see here. Yeah, crap. So yeah, I don't know if you got the other stories. Why don't you go ahead and with that? I'll try to find this here.
Let's see here.
Do you have anything that came up missing or anything like that? Anything disappear for a while?
I was listening to your segment on that. Contemplating whether to jump in, because honestly, I haven't personally. And I've heard this happen many times. And when I used to investigate the paranormal and be in the field, I'd hear this relocation thing a lot. Now, sometimes it was benevolent and other times it was mischievous, but it always seemed that somebody would find the item eventually. Now, your father's GPS, 10 years is an awful long time, for something like that to disappear and then reappear in the exact spot that it was last seen. That's pretty cool, man. Like, I thought that story was really interesting.
Yeah, that's
because usually it'll be your car keys in the freezer or something along those lines.
right. Yeah, but not in
But
the
this thing
same
disappeared
spot.
entirely.
Yeah, it just
Oh, it
disappears
wasn't in the same spot?
entirely. And then all of a sudden, years later, I mean, it's not like a couple days, a week, 10 years later, it's sitting in the same spot that you walk by tons of times, hundreds
Mhm.
of times you walk by the damn thing. Not there, and all of a sudden, oh, it's there. It's just like that stupid jack,
Mhm.
I was showing my mom, I'm like, look at this, it still has a receipt on it, from back when I was 16. I mean, 16? Really?
That's crazy.
Oh my
That's
god.
crazy. What do you guys think about shadow people?
I believe
What are your
in
thoughts
that.
on that? What do you think they
Yeah.
are? Green Man, what do you think?
Oh, some I think are, just spirits, and that's how they choose to come to you. Some I think are some form of negative energy because they seem to like to really fuck with people. Um, it's kind of weird how a lot of the time they seem to be visible out of the corner of your eye. But then there's also times where you see animal type smaller versions. From time to time, corner of my eye I'll catch. For me it's more little ones. Run around, dart through here, dart past here. Every once in a while I'll see a big one. Personally, I don't know, because I had a weird thing one time when I was meditating. I'm just sitting there, got my eyes closed and meditating, and I had the TV on in front of me. And when you got your eyes closed, you can still see the light kind of coming through.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just sitting there, and just doing my thing, and from my right, I see a shadow person kind of run over and fucking punch me in the face.
Oh, Jesus.
And I'm like, I even kind of like, what the fuck? But yeah, I kind of like, okay, I'm, whatever. I'm meditating. Maybe this is, something trying to, deal with me now. And it did it a couple more times. And
Really?
yeah, but I just kind of just stayed focused, and I'm like, okay, well, I don't, what the hell this is, if it's anything at all, but I'm like, okay, well, whatever I think is going on, maybe something's trying to fuck with me, obviously, because it's trying to hit me. And so I just stay focused, and it kept hitting at me, and then finally at one point, all the light that I could see from the TV through my eyelids was gone, and it was just all black. And I'm like, okay, and I'm thinking it's trying to do something. Just stay focused, and I kind of ended up, opening the window back up and like getting rid of it. But that's the weirdest, I don't know, shadow person or whatever the hell you want to call it. No idea. Event that's kind of I've had.
Do you think that there is, well, let me ask you this. Do you think that there's a difference between the vibration that they exist on and the vibration that people perhaps go to when they pass on?
I think that if anything, some of them are a little of both. That they're almost like some of them. I think the negative ones are kind of at an in between.
Oh man.
Where some are that are just spirits that are just all they can do. Maybe all the energy they can draw is just enough to black flash. But I think the ones that are evil are kind of in between, I think maybe they're a little bit more pissed off that they haven't crossed over for some reason or whatever, and maybe have kind of taken to the role. And those are the ones that,
Interesting.
you know, a little, yeah, it's like they could, but they choose not to, you know, so they're kind of live in their own type of realm, so to speak.
But
Yeah.
you said the operative word there for me, choose. I mean, if we're choosing what we're doing here and who we are, of course, around us we had a set of circumstance where might be dealt with a certain hand of cards when we're born. You know, I believe that there's an agreement that you've made before you come in to experience that sort of experience for the sake of experiencing it,
Mhm.
you know. But we choose, even in death, I figure. And whatever these entities are around us, there's free will, independent of religion. You know, there's definitely free will, and it doesn't appear to me that there's any judgment either. And that could be even less of a belief and more from an experiential sense. I just don't think that there's any sort of judgment for anything unless you judge yourself for it.
Well, see,
Choice.
I've been to a few mediums and psychics, you know, and a lot of them all say the same thing: is that, you know, when you pass, you go through like a life review type thing, and
Mhm.
part of it is because, you know, you need to feel all the negative things that you've done to others. Part of it to learn to grow on. And then when we come back, we know in advance everything that's going to happen, and we choose the life that we take to learn whatever it is we need to learn to evolve the essence of what we are, whatever you want to call it: soul, entity, spirit, you know, your chi. It's all about learning and developing. I mean, and we have the choice. Hitler chose to be Hitler for a reason.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, his life review must
What
have
a
really,
heavy role.
his life review must have really sucked ass.
Oh, God.
you
You
know,
only imagine. I've thought
you
about
know,
that, though.
you
Yeah.
know, rightly so for what he did. You know, but yeah, it's at some point somebody's got to play the heavy. Everybody has to go through this role of learning to develop, to ascend to, whether you want to call it heaven, nirvana, you know, a collective of entities, to, you know, it's like we have to earn our stripes to get to that point.
I couldn't agree with what you said more, man. I mean, that's my understanding, too, right to a T. 100%.
So
Yeah.
And that's it. It's curious to think about, man, but that's my understanding, too.
yeah. But see, with hearing that, you know, that's helped me look at, you know, it's really helps a lot, because all the bad things that happen in your life, it teaches you to look at it and say, what am I supposed to learn? What's the lesson in this? And, you know, it helps you find a silver lining. You know, well, you know, so and so passed away, but, you know, now I've learned from this, and, you know, I'm not quite an asshole. Or, you know, they wanted me to learn the piano, so now, you know, I love playing piano. You get something out of it. You evolve yourself somehow.
Mhm.
You know,
Yep.
and you know, otherwise, if you just sit there and just think of all the negative all the time, you know, you'll go fucking nuts. You'll blow your head
Right.
off.
Yeah, you're right about it.
Yeah, we all have that one thing, you know.
Do you have the video here?
Yeah,
GameVet?
I got it pulled up. Are you guys ready for this? It's
Hell
actually
yeah.
I have two of them
Absolutely.
now. I sent these to 503. I don't know if you got to check them out yet or not. But what's interesting, this is original footage, okay, that was taken in Turkey. I'd have to read it, what the dates are and stuff like that. But this is raw footage. And then the other video, it almost looks like the same thing, but I don't know if it's fake, or I don't know if the next one is fake or not. But check this one out, okay? This one is very interesting. This one's been one of my favorites for years. All right, so I'll put some. Come on.
Oh, okay, yeah, I've seen this one. Yeah, this is nuts.
Oh wow.
No, that was 2008.
Thought I could read his lips there for a second. He's like, "Look at that motherfucker with the camera. We're probing his ass."
I think.
Is that the moon that he's shooting on when he moves away from the UFO? Is that what that is? I'm trying to discern what the light is that looks like it's reflecting off the top there.
Right. I think so. There's more of it.
It doesn't seem to be coming from within.
Right. I think. Let's see. It shows more a little later on.
It does look like two individuals there, though. You see two heads. What it looks like to be two heads.
Yeah. I'm trying to find the right spot. There's one of them that you can actually see them. You can see the heads, and it looks like. Here, let me jump ahead a little bit. I think this is the part. Yeah, this is the part where you see the two heads.
Yeah.
See its head turned.
It's an open cockpit or something. Maybe we just can't
Now, watch the one on
see
the
what's
right.
over it.
Watch the one on the right. You can actually see it turn.
I see movement.
Yeah. It'll come back again.
I'll be very curious to hear what 503 says about this.
Yeah. And I guess this UFO actually came back 3 different times. In 3 different years. Yeah. I think this is the first time it came by. I guess it came by 2 more years. This one's always fascinated me.
Wow, that's a hell of a video.
Yeah. So now you guys,
I'd be curious to know more.
You guys basically see the shape. Okay, it's got the,
Yeah, it's like an old flying wing.
All right, now this is going to be very interesting now, guys, because you take note of that shape and take note of these little things, whatever these are, air dams or whatever on the sides. All right, let me remove that a second. Let me get the next one on. Now this one, it looks like it was recorded by the government somewhere. I don't know where. All right, stop. Just give me a second here. This thing's going super slow. Come on, stop. Oh my God. Manny 503 really likes your video. Don't want to stop. All right, come on now. Jeez. It's taking forever to load. I'm sorry about that, guys.
No problem.
One thing I've noticed between all of our shows, no matter how established you are, we all deal with this technical bullshit, man. We always have problems.
Right.
One way or another. Somebody's internet doesn't work. We lost the stream. This guy can't see him because, he keeps going in and out. Audio doesn't work. You name it, dude.
Right.
Get it.
Wi-Fi
it's fine, bud.
Okay.
Yep.
I can click on it. I'm almost there. Here we go. No, you don't want that. Here, hold on a second. Let me get it ready first. Oh, dang it. All these stupid ads. Stupid ads. Don't care about your ugly feet. Yes. Oh, that's not even the right one. You kidding me right now? Shoot. Oh, wait. There's the one. Oh, screw it. I'll show you this one because this one's kind of similar too. All right. It's after this. Right here. Oh, no, not really. Not really, but kind of.
It's a triangle this time.
Well, we don't want to see your ugly kids. All right, hang on. I got. I don't know. For some reason, it didn't pick the right dang video. We backtrack here just a tad. God dang it. What I've been noticing too, though, is YouTube's been deleting a lot of these damn videos. On the
I keep hearing that.
I've been looking at different people's playlists, and the people that actually post all this stuff all the time. You look at their playlist, and it's nothing but deleted videos. Pretty crazy.
Yeah, YouTube does some crazy shit sometimes for weird reasons.
Oh dang! 4:30. Yeah, it's insane.
So, didn't they have something recently? I remember watching one of my guitar-based channels. The guy was talking. Was like, I can't do anything with my kids. I can't have my kids on the screen because he made what he did. He made a little dulcimer with his like 11-year-old daughter for like her class, and he just videotaped it with and YouTube struck him because it had a kid in it and said it was inappropriate for child and put him out.
Ah, Jesus.
And he's like, dude, I can't even make something with my kid and put it on. What the fuck is going on with you people?
It's the algorithms, man. It's the algorithms.
Yeah.
All right, check this one out. You guys see that okay?
Yeah.
2014, Afghanistan.
Well, they're going to shoot that fucker down. They got the tank. They're ready.
I think this one's fake.
Yeah, because it almost looks like it almost looked like the UFO kind of jerked when the explosions go off.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
Well, what's interesting is, doesn't this look the same as that other one?
Similar, but it didn't. The other one
similar. Yeah,
it didn't have like a dome out of the top, but it looked like it had more coming like from the bottom, and it was more like a kind of like a wedge, trapezoidal kind of shape.
Right. They make it look like it's shooting something out, like it's causing these explosions, but I think it's actually tanks on the other side of this other tank shooting, whatever that is over there. And then they're adding in gunfire from the big UFO as if it's shooting that shit.
I think you're right. There's a triangle again. That one looks like it has a little bit of a dome.
Yeah.
But why would he zoom out of it?
Right.
Why would he just take the frame out?
And why the fuck has it got machine guns? That was machine gun flash, dude. What the fuck are UFOs doing with goddamn fucking machine guns?
Right.
That was a muzzle flash, dude.
Here it is. Right here.
That should be ray gun territory. I'm calling shenanigans on that.
Yeah, see,
and it's all the same UFO. It's like what the fuck is this one UFO got with Afghanistan so bad? It's all the same damn thing.
They only had one drone, and they're expecting expensive, man. So. Hey, Area 503. What's up, buddy?
Hey, man.
What's going on, Manny?
Uh-oh, I don't think we can hear your mic.
Yeah, we can't hear your mic. Dre says it looks like Transformers.
They'll get there.
UFO Buster Radio says
that
Area
first
51.
video.
What's that? UFO Buster Radio says Area 51 makes their own fake videos, which I believe that.
Maybe. I wouldn't doubt it.
Oh, sound.
Is it on now?
Yep. I can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Welcome.
Is it too loud? I can turn it down. I was monkeying with all my settings on my voice meter tonight, so this is kind of a live test. Sorry.
Oh, you're good, man.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show.
Thanks. Yeah, I like
Sounds
the
good, man.
pyramids, man. I dig any kind of pyramid UFO like that, or triangle or whatever. I just did a triangle piece,
Yeah, they got. Yeah, I mean, I just like talking about this stuff. It's like that Iraq one. I think that one's fake because I don't see why they mount a rail gun on the front of that thing. Honestly,
I don't know, man.
Or
The
zoom out of the
military-
frame once they have it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like those soldiers would be shooting at that thing. They'd be running over there and pointing at it, wouldn't you? And you'd be getting all kinds of footage. Like they'd all have some kind of footage. So
Yeah.
right. But I honestly think this Chile one is real.
I'm gonna look at that Turkey one. If there's 3 sightings, I'll download those and run them through the After Effects and see what it looks like.
Why do I keep saying Chile? Yeah, it's Turkey. I must be thinking soup. I don't know. Let's see here. Where's that one again?
Yeah, I like that, Andre. I'm gonna do the Wilson from Tool Time. I'll just hide down behind my mic the whole time.
Yeah, you need the little fence over the microphone.
Give you the sage advice that you never want to hear.
Yeah. What other ones were we discussing, Green Man? I can't remember now.
What about that, Manny? Have you seen that the big black pyramid over the Pentagon one?
Yeah, I've done a little bit of digging on that one, and I read a research paper that a guy did where I think he said that it was like a marketing deal where 3 people who all worked for like a PR company all coordinated to kind of collude with fighting, and it was like a stunt for them. But I looked it up earlier and I couldn't find that article, but I swear I remember reading something like that, and I was like, oh well, that makes sense because you had 3 different people who saw it, and that was my first indicator. I was like, wait a minute, you got 3 different people who filmed the same damn thing? Well, that how is that fake then? But it was almost too good to be true because it was so crisp, that black pyramid hanging over the Pentagon, like coming out of the clouds, and you're just like, wait a minute. People would be freaking out. There'd be, F-15s and Apaches and Reapers and shit everywhere. Like they would.
That thing was huge.
Yeah, I mean, there should have been a sky full of military aircraft and tanks on the ground and everything, but there was nothing there. There was just people walking by, like So I was like, might be CGI, but it was still good,
They're entertaining videos. I mean, but hell, trying to get to the bottom of the truth is such a drudgery sometimes. Unless you know what you're looking for, like you, 503. You know what you're looking for, man.
I've looked at a lot of different stuff, though. I tell you what, I've seen a lot of CGI, and I was just like, no, my gut tells me that's too good to be true. But I've worked with computers for a long time. Like I'm sure a lot of you guys have. We've all been, either geeks by trade or by, hobby. Like we grew up on the internet. Our generation did. So you kind of learn with the spot. Like I did some 3D work way back in the day, and I'm like, yeah, that kind of looks like a good version of some old school 3D stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So. I don't know. I just don't get why people like who Hollywood Scotty is. Do any of you guys have you seen his work? He does creature stuff. Like he did
I know that name.
Yeah, he did Cthulhu
Okay.
attacking Chicago. It was awesome, man. This big shadowy thing coming out of the mist, and he does really good work. But people steal his stuff all the time, and he doesn't, try to pass it off. I think anymore. He might have when he started. He might have tried to pass it off as real, but he doesn't anymore. And now people just get his stuff and then they alter it a little bit and then they put it out. Like even Secure Team 10 had used something that some of Hollywood Scotty's that somebody had altered and sent into him, and I was like, oh, that sucks, dude. You got duped, but twice duped because it was stolen and it was CGI, but yeah, he does good work, but he doesn't try and hide it. I like people like that. I'd like to see more of those people. If I had those skills, that's what I'd be doing. I wouldn't be faking UFO videos. I'd, like I said, I'd be working for Marvel Studios or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I feel kind of bad because it's getting a little late over here, so I'm gonna run. But I want to. I feel bad because I know Manny just got on, and I want to spend more time with you guys. But it is getting kind of late, and I'm gonna bounce out. But thank you very much for having me on, Game Vet, and it was great talking to you, Green Man and Manny, for the 2 moments I got to speak with you. It was again good to see you, man. We'll make more time of it next time. But hey, guys, thanks so much. This has been a lot of fun. I appreciate it.
Thanks,
thank you.
DHP.
You're always welcome.
Very cool,
It's
man.
good to see you,
All
DHP.
right, cheers, man. Thank you. All right, you too, guys. I'll see you soon.
Later, man.
Cheers.
Later.
I get that. I'm a night owl and I'm on the West Coast, so I'm always the last to go to bed.
Yeah. I work nights, so I'm right there with you, buddy.
Yeah.
I'm up all night long too. Oh, how you doing? Blue Chicken is in the house.
Oh, what's up, BC?
The editor-in-chief of this dang broadcast right here. I haven't heard a word from him for, I don't know, since I started it, but yeah, it's all good. So yeah, yeah. Shoot, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think I really have anything else, honestly. Unless you got any secrets you're working on, Manny.
No, like, I kind of had to shut everything down for a week when I got this new computer to work on the hardware issues and stuff. So now I'm just trying to get back up into Steam, and get all my videos rolling out again. I just did the one about the triangle UFOs, and I was thinking about doing one about crop circles because there was a couple of recent sightings, but I do have, there was something that I found that was in an archive. It was an old sighting over Moscow that was kind of interesting because it was photographed by multiple witnesses. But it's just a strange formation of lights over Red Square, and it's like it could be anything. Those could be military planes or choppers, but the fact that 12 or 13 people saw it and photographed it is kind of cool. There's just no video, so it's like, oh, we got like 12 slides to show and that's it. I like video, man. It's 30 frames a second. That gives you 30 chances a second to catch something, like something good.
Unless you have my dash cam that doesn't pick up a damn thing.
You got one of those, do you?
Yeah. I need to get something with infrared and all that stuff, heat signature and whatever.
Telling you need one of those right at the earpieces, so when you see some weird shit off to the side, man, you can catch it.
I'd probably get in trouble with that, though, honestly.
Shoot, I think in this day and age, as a trucker, I'd have cameras all over the rig, man, everywhere. I'd be like, if anything happens, you can look at the tape. It wasn't me. It was some guy who smashed into me or cut me off, or
just for insurance reasons. Yeah,
in this day and age, man. Then a lot of those. I was looking at some on Amazon the other day that they're $20-$40, but you probably get what you pay for. If you want something good that you can back up stuff to and you can plug into your house and it'll hit the Wi-Fi and dump everything onto your network for you, you probably have to pay a bit of money, but might be worth it. Might be a business expense.
Yeah. I mean, I'd like to get 2 more, and then 2 or 3 more, because then I could put one on the passenger window on that side, and then put 2 on the side windows. That way, if I see something, maybe one of them will catch it.
Yeah, you'd be amazed at what you don't even catch that you just see after the fact. Like a lot of people catch UFOs and shooting stars, meteorites, things like that. And they're like, oh, I didn't even notice this when I was driving, especially if it's a back, facing camera as opposed to a front facing camera. Right. But I've seen some really cool like meteorites and things like that, but you're in a moving object. So you get that, perceived retrograde motion, so it's really hard to tell like if how fast something's moving while you're also moving in a different direction. You know, the eyes, especially at night, can play tricks on you. You know?
Right.
But it's good to have any kind of camera footage.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, everything I see, it never gets captured. You know, it's just one of the damnedest things. But one of these days, I know I'll get it.
That's Murphy's Law for you, man. Like, the wrong thing at the wrong damn time, you know, or whatever can go wrong will. It'll record and it'll be, you know, in the wrong setting, or, you know, you thought it was recording, but it was playing or something like that, you know?
Yeah.
Old school bullshit, man. You're like, damn, I just want to point the thing and make it work.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Blue Chicken says, if you can't see my mirrors, I can't see you. And that's exactly right. I should have that on my camera as well. If this thing's recording, I can't see you with this either.
Dude, when I'm driving down the highway, when I come up on a big rig, like I treat it like it's a big, gnarly, like old school, like dragon. Okay. And I'm just like this little dude who's flying along, and it's going to do what it's going to do. And I need to respond to it. And it is just going to, you know, if it comes down to me or it, I'm done, you know. So I give them wide berths, you know, like I get around them when they pass me. I kind of flash them to let them know they get by me and stuff. You know, I try to be courteous to these people who hold our way of life together, you know, and truckers really do, you know, like if that hasn't been proved in the last 3 months, I don't know when it ever will be.
Yeah, we were the only ones that were on the road, honestly.
Yeah, it must have been nice, man. Maybe we should be like that every day for you guys. Yeah, right. Seriously. Yeah. I know I've been looking at highway cams and stuff during the lockdowns, and I'm like, man, this is how it should be all the time. You know, like we shouldn't be all wrapped and stacked on top of each other like we are in these cities, you know. Like I live in Portland, it ain't that big of a city, and it's already too damn crowded. You know, I'm like, geez, we got all this space out there. Let's spread out people just a little bit. Maybe we won't be so angry about what everybody else is doing if we're not up each other's ass all the time. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we were kids, you know, there wasn't a lot of traffic at night. But now with everybody's schedule, it's a 24-hour, 24-hour world now where everybody's working or doing some damn thing all hours of the night. So it really makes the traffic, you know.
For sure, with the internet and stuff, I feel that way, you know, ever since like the 90s. It's kind of been just like the sun never sets. It's like we're living in Las Vegas now, you know. It's kind of crazy, but you know, it's kind of cool too, though, because you can look at your phone and you can learn about gravity and black holes and, you know, like things like that. You don't have to go to college and spend a shitload of money and be taught these rigid, you know, programs. You can learn at your own pace and what you want to learn nowadays. We have like access to some of the most amazing, you know, information. It's all right there, you know.
Yep.
And then we use it to look at cat videos. Right,
cat videos and porn. Yep.
Right, and porn. Definitely, that's the internet. You know, like that's what built the internet. That was like when somebody was pitching the internet. They're like, "Well, how can we make money off this?" And the guy says, "Porn." Okay, sold. Let's build it. You know.
Yeah. What the heck? That's awesome. So, what are your thoughts about seeing that turkey UFO so far?
I didn't get a good look at it. I'm real interested, you know, like anytime there's real good clear footage like that, I'm awfully suspicious, you know, like, was it, you know, is it faked? Is it staged? You got to ask CGI whenever something's that clear, because especially if it's 12 years old, I'm wondering why everyone wouldn't have seen it already and been just screaming about it. But the fact that it showed up 2 or 3 times, I'm really curious to look at and dive into and see, you know, like if it is CGI, we can probably figure that out. If it's not, you know, cool. Let's find out what it is. You know, it looks good though. It looks like, you know, it looks like a cylinder with two beams in it. You know, like it looks like a UFO with a window, right? I mean, like, yeah, you know, like kind of a Bob Lazar style UFO that's cylindrical with the, you know, kind of beveled top and then the window porthole in the top, like, so I really like it, but again, I'm skeptical and I'm cautious always. Whenever something's too real good, I'm like, okay, rein it in just a bit, you know, like keep that enthusiasm. But I'm going to look at it real hard and I'll let you know. Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool, man. I appreciate that. That's always been in my mind, you know, when when I got into researching this stuff and all that, and I've always heard about this one. You got to see this one. You got to see this one. And when I saw that one, it's like, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, there's some really good clear ones when they pop up, and you got to ask yourself, like I said, why haven't these already been like just showed on every television, every newspaper, and like we talked about earlier, I think you really got to have some hardcore proof, and I mean hundreds of witnesses at this point. If 3 can fake something, it can't even be 30. It's got to be hundreds, a whole damn city, like something like that. But or you got to have a living, breathing alien to, on a chain and just be like, no, this thing didn't disappear. Here it is, like beyond that, some kind of advanced tech might do it. Like if you were able to come up with something like a jar of element 187 or something and say, look, some alien gave this to me, where else what could I have gotten it? That might work, but I think people would be less believable. Like I think you need to have just a plethora, an overabundance of proof to make it work. Otherwise, no one's going to buy it. Even if they saw it with their own eyes, they'd probably talk themselves into believing it was something else.
Yeah. Oh, that was a costume. That was a guy. Oh man, that guy's costume was awesome. You see that? Oh.
Yeah. Oh, that was an awesome drone. Yeah, or kite or whatever. I reference the 1984 Olympic closing games down in LA all the time because they flew in a UFO on the bottom of a helicopter, or so they claimed it was. I've never actually seen photographs of this UFO. Like it should have been a big thing where they had this big apparatus that they were building and lifted it up on the bottom of a helicopter. But, they brought in a believable UFO and flew it over the stadium. And then a guy appeared to come out of it and pop up on stage. And, there was a little alien dude. And people were like, well, was that real? Was it fake? Like, why would you do that? Why would you stage an alien landing at the 1984 Olympics? Like, what a strange thing to just pull out of your hat and be like, hey guys, let's do this. Like, I don't know.
That's funny.
It is. Yeah. You should look that up and kind of look into the story of that particular sighting as it is. I mean, there is a guy, like I said, who claimed that he built it, but there's no schematics, there's no photos of these guys working on the thing behind the scenes. Like there's nothing. So it's like take his word for it or don't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that's nuts, man. I remember seeing a video on that about the UFO coming down and stuff like that. And I know there's a lot of people that are just shocked. They didn't know what the hell they were looking at.
Yeah, there's a copy on YouTube. I think that was played in I don't know, somewhere over in Europe. I couldn't recognize the language. German. Maybe it was hard to tell, or Dutch. But you could hear their shock, and they're just like, "What the hell is that? Is that an alien? Is that a UFO?" And it is kind of interesting. Like they flew it in, and then they had the thing hanging below a helicopter, and then they were escorting it by other helicopters to kind of hide the sounds of the helicopter that was flying the thing. And it's like, how many times have we seen helicopters escorting shit through the skies? Like, come on, man, it happens all the dang time. Unfortunately, you're like, what is it? Yeah, I saw one the other day. Maybe about actually 3 months ago, I saw some sort of military transport that was carrying something underneath it. It was big enough to be a Jeep. It might have been a large generator. I couldn't tell, but it was dark and it was at night, and I couldn't even identify the chopper. I know it was a single rotor, so it wasn't like a Chinook, but it was still carrying something big enough to be like a Jeep or a large generator or something. I was like, what the fuck is that, man? Like, where'd that come from and where's it going? This is right over, like downtown Portland. There, the only thing that's around there is maybe the airport. It could have been picking something up from PDX and taking it out to the coast to the air wing or something. But I don't know. I wish I could have stopped, but I was on the top of the bridge and it's 5 lanes of traffic. You can't stop up there. They think you're gonna jump. Like you'll get arrested.
I've honestly seen something like that where there was a semi pulling a trailer and it was a flatbed, and they had something under a tarp, right? And there was just tons and tons of like state trooper cops. There's military vehicles front to back, and it was just ridiculous. I'd come up over a hill and I'd see all these flashing lights. I'm like, what the hell's going on over here?
Yeah.
It looked like a car wreck.
I've seen motorcades like that before, but it's normally when they're moving like a test either a test plane or a test missile or some kind of secret ordnance or military, something like that. And they're moving it from wherever it was built or assembled to where it's going to be deployed or stationed or transported. Yeah. That's definitely something very, very top secret, whatever it was. Could have been a UFO or a rocket, it could be a satellite, like who knows? It could be.
It was huge, whatever it was, and the trailer was super long. It was like the size of 2 trailers.
Oh wow!
Whatever
That
it was,
sounds like a rocket or something, man. It might have been.
Yeah,
I was watching a show on where they did the Titan rockets, and when they moved them, there was a big ceremony in town when they blew this rocket out. They laid it down on a trailer like you're talking about and pulled it through town when they were moving it over to Cape Canaveral or wherever. It was the same kind of thing, like everyone was out there. But back then it wasn't top secret. Everyone was out there barbecuing. They're like, yeah, right. You're like, is that going to send us to the moon, or is it there to blow up comrade over abroad? Like who knows? But either way, it's a good thing.
UFOs and tube tops. That's all we need.
Yeah. I think Green Man, you said something about that earlier. You were talking about like the aliens that like to shut down or visit our nuclear weapons or things like that. And
yeah.
There's a couple of cases. Like one of the most famous, I think, was Malmstrom Air Force Base in the 60s, I think, where 5 or 6 ICBMs were shut down and then, or no, they were armed and then shut back down.
Yeah. They were actually activating missiles, getting them ready to launch, and then they just kind of cut out.
Yeah, and there was like a giant red UFO that appeared out the front of the gates in front of the base, and like they're one of the ICBM operators. I forget his name, but he's one of the people who came out in 2001 at the National Press Club correspondence where they did that big alien outing thing right before 9/11. I talked about that earlier, but he said that's all verifiable and true, and that he reported it to his superiors and that they were just not interested. They're like, no, don't ever talk about this. Like they buried it, and they didn't want anyone to know that there was any vulnerabilities with our weapons, and that kind of strikes me as true. Like I can understand that,
Yeah.
I think there was one other case that I heard of too, where they were testing it wasn't a nuclear weapon, but it would be the delivery for one. It was a missile that they were testing over in California somewhere, and a white UFO or an orb or something approached the missile and zapped it with something, and it fell out of the sky. Like it shot the damn thing down. It's kind of interesting. It makes me wonder if something's been preventing humans from using nukes on each other since we first did. Like if there's been aliens have been like, no, you're not going to do that anymore. That's too bad. You can't drop nukes on people. We'll let you have them, and you can threaten each other with them. But if you try to use them, we'll stop you.
Yeah. I've heard that before. That they won't let us nuke each other. They'll stop it before they let that happen. And I've heard of because Vandenberg is out here, and I don't know. I'm sure you've heard of the underwater base right off of like by Dana's Point, off of Malibu.
Mm-mm. No, there's an underwater base here.
Yeah, there's an underwater base. If you Google Earth, you look it up, and you just type in underwater UFO base, it'll take you to the spot, and it has it mapped out. And in the ocean, you see like a plateau. And then you see pillars with like a wider spot between a couple of them. But yeah, it's like under the water. There's a plateau that comes down from the coast, a plateau, and then it drops out, and you've got pillars in it. And what they say is it's a UFO underwater base, and from time to time they'll come out and take out some of the stuff that they launch at Vandenberg. And there's been a lot of people that have said that they've seen things off the coast of Malibu. I think even like Ronald Reagan, when he lived out there, he would say him and Nancy would sit out in the back porch and see shit all the time.
I believe it. I believe he saw UFOs with all of his talk about aliens and UFOs. Like I totally believe it.
Yeah.
I unfortunately, I think if we were going to have disclosure from the government, it probably would have come right then and there. I don't think we're getting any closer nowadays, but who knows? Hopefully I'm wrong.
Yeah, it's more hinting. Maybe.
Yeah, and they throw all these little drops at you, and then sometime down the road when aliens do show up, they'll be like, hey, we've been trying to tell you all along, you just weren't listening. You know, like, didn't you watch our movie Independence Day or Men in Black or you know, whatever? Like,
we've been trying to break it into you. Come on, you know. And I think that's what it is, because I still don't think we're ready as a planet to really see that. I really don't.
To join the rest of the cosmos.
Yeah, because
not unless they want weapons and soldiers, I guess then they came to the right place.
Yeah, you know, it's almost still like gorillas throwing rocks at the fucking moon. You know, we're still almost, you know, compared to them, we're bombing each other, we're shooting each other, we're doing all this stupid shit. They're sitting there watching it. Why the fuck would you talk to us?
What do we offer? Really? What can we bring to the table?
Yeah, it's just it's like, okay, do your thing.
Art and music, that's what I say. Cooking, you know, flavor, passion. There you go.
Come on, they just look at us and they think, hey, they can clean our toilets.
Right. Yeah, you know, I think Rich said something about aliens. He's like, when you try to like speculate what aliens are thinking, you can't, because they're alien. The way that they think is going to be alien. You know, you have a hard enough time trying to figure out someone you know, let alone, you know, a human being that you don't. You know, like you're trying to step inside a completely different way of thinking, of priorities, of morals, of views of the world and the universe. You know, like, it'd be hard to wrap your head around. That Arrival movie, I'm not the latest one. Have you seen that one where the cigar?
The black almond shaped things come down.
Yeah, dude.
Kind of like
they're like squid people kind of that talk in pictures. Yeah, I was like, man, that is a damn cool movie. What they're talking about there, how people communicate, how we're limited by our communication, and you know, things like that. I was like, that's a pretty deep damn movie, man. But it makes me wonder if our first contact won't be something like that, just so alien, but you know, benevolent. I mean, like, if I say it all the time, if any sort of superior race wanted to wipe us out, we couldn't stop them. You know, like they could launch a rocket us from clear across the galaxy, and you know, it would show up when it needed to, and it would blast us, and we could, you know, what are we gonna do? We can't stop meteorites from hitting us.
We never know what hit us.
No, and they wouldn't tell us even if they did know it was coming. They'd let us go to work that day and pay taxes. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, they wouldn't tell you to go kiss your child. You know, like, that's messed up.
And you damn well know that you're 100%. You have 100% chance of they already know what you're thinking before you even know what you're thinking.
Yeah.
And you know, we're stuck here not knowing a damn thing.
That's why I think when they do show up, it'll be a good thing. It's not going to be, they're not going to show up and waste us. And if they are, then we can't do anything against it. You know, what do we have? We got nukes everywhere, so we can threaten to blow the whole place up. So it's just like, you know, we won't give you what you want. Instead, we'll just burn the house down with us in it. You know, like, what kind of logic is that? It's human logic.
If you can't have it, nobody will.
Right. If I don't win, you lose. You know, like, but really, they're just going to walk away and be like, well, that sucked for them. You know, like, we're going home. You know, it's not. Yeah, like we have a lot more to gain from finding peaceful existence and, you know, going out into the universe with that kind of mentality than we do with warlike expansion, ownership. You know, like, you know, the cosmos are way bigger than us. We've got to know that by now. You know, like, as human beings, we got to understand, you know, that there's billions of planets out there. There has to be life on them. Some of those right now, we may. Yeah, I mean, there just has to be. You know, the numbers would be off if it wasn't. You know, so it's just a matter of, can we get to them in any concept of what we know of as time, because they're so damn far away. You know, that's the thing. But when you start talking about folding space time, distances don't mean nothing, man. You know, a foot's the same as a light year, because you're folding the space time. You know, it doesn't really matter. You know, it's all takes a whole bunch of energy that we don't have access to. But at some day, maybe they will. You know. Yeah,
they, but not us.
Not us. But 100 years ago, we were in, you know, steam cars, and, you know, I mean, not steam cars, but you get what I'm saying. Like, quite a bit in 100 years, you know, like, look where we were 200 years ago, and then 100 years ago, and imagine where we're going to be in another 100. And it's moving a lot faster than it ever did because of the computers and AI and robotics and all that stuff, man. I think it's cool though. I can't wait. You know, like I'm blazing full charge ahead. Like, let's do it, man. Either we're going to be on top of this and we'll be the masters, or we'll be the slaves of it. But either way, it's going to happen. You know, like technologies are coming. Starlink's coming.
I just want to have a truck, that hovers or flies, something that I can just set on autopilot, just get to my location, hit the button to dock up to the place, and be done with it.
I'm still waiting.
I'm tired of this driving on the snow crap and all that other stuff.
I'm still waiting for my Jetsons car, man.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like a Jetsons car, only a semi, where it just hovers.
I like the self-driving technology, man. Like I'd love to get a self-driving RV and just go live in it. You just go to sleep every night and tell it to drive you to a new spot, wake up in a new city, or like you could get high-speed internet just about anywhere. Like why not be kind of a modern vagabond nomad?
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if it flew, then you could cross the continents, the water. You wouldn't be stuck to the roads. But
right.
You might. Yeah, I mean, why not? Especially nowadays where everyone's working from home anyways and doing all that stuff. You might as well. But I think I did a piece on self-driving trucks, a short bit on when they tested the one from California, I think up to Philly or Massachusetts or something like that. It was a truck that they picked up a load of butter and it was self-driving and it made it the whole way. Of course, there was a driver in the seat, Yeah, probably a co-pilot too, and a bunch of people watching it on computer to test it. But that technology is coming, know? Yeah. And it makes me wonder, like, how long until we can, automate everything, automate distribution, automate production, automate everything. We're like, okay, we're not going to be working anymore. Nobody's really got to work anymore. We can make robots to do all this, like let's quit making jobs just to make jobs.
Then how would the government get money though?
Yeah, exactly. Where does that leave us?
Well, the next step then is, once you get rid of jobs, you're just like, you got to get rid of money, and then people are like, well, how do we do that? Right? It never happened. Right. So what you're saying is it'll never happen. So we're going to have people who are going to go do jobs that, the droids or the robots or whatever could do, but they have to count beans because they have to, or sit in a cubicle and watch advertisements because that's their job, like is to sit there and watch ads. And you're like, no, man, that's wrong. Automate everything. Get rid of the jobs. Let people do whatever they want. Let them be artists or scientists or God, even drug addicts, if that's what they want to do. I don't even care. You know what I mean? Just like whatever people want to do, it's up to them at that point. And as long as you're not hurting anybody, cool, like let's see what happens. Let's see what happens, But then maybe we could get people to focus, real concerted efforts, like global efforts to focus on things. You see how it's hard. You can't really, it's hard to get even the globe to focus on something like COVID-19. It's become politicized, like it's all about money, it's economics, it's recession. It's, it's like, if this was
scandemic.
What? I don't know, man. Whatever it is, it could just be the planet rearing its head up and trying to knock down a pest. Like who knows? But it just shows that the world can't really. It's hard. It's hard to get the world to really work together. Because of all the lines, whether it's political lines or geographic lines or whatever. And I talked about that in my in one video that I did where it's called the overview effect when you're looking at the planet from above, and it's something that astronauts and other people have experienced who have gone up in space, but you don't feel that national connection anymore. Instead, you feel more of a connection with humanity, and I hate the term woke, but I kind of like that whole, term of like, hey, we're one people, we're all human beings, like it doesn't matter where you're born or how poor you are or whatever, like we're all people, we're all the same, man. Like we make smart choices, we make poor choices, hopefully we learn, but yeah, I don't know. Like I just hope that the world can kind of see that we got a lot more in common with each other than we ever do, and that's apart or different, So, yeah, doesn't matter if you're, American, Russian, whatever. It doesn't matter to me. I don't care. We're all people. I say it. I got no kids, but I got 7 billion children.
Yeah.
Or the other way around.
All right. Oh man. Well, I think I'm gonna wrap it up, guys.
Yeah, it's been good chatting with you guys.
Yeah,
well, thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, I'm glad I could. I was just lurking in the chat room anyways. Like I said, I was working on my write-up and stuff, but when I got done with it, I figured I'd jump in for a little bit. It's good to talk with you guys. It gave me a chance to test everything too and talk your ear off.
Yeah, I'm getting mesmerized by your fan back there.
Oh yeah.
I keep watching it. I'm like,
Are you getting a secret message? It's saying subscribe to Area 503 on YouTube.
It's turning counterclockwise. It's turning counterclockwise.
Oh, it is turning counterclockwise. Never mind. It says drink more Ovaltine.
it's a sign.
All right,
Document that, blue chicken.
Put that in your book.
Oh man.
Have a good one, guys. Good to see you.
Thanks, bro. Good to see you, man.
See you, blue chicken, and anyone else who's still around in the chat.
All right, thanks, Manny.
Take care.
All right. Green Man, Tom Selleck, I'm gonna head out.
All right, man.
It's been fun.
Thanks for having me on. Thanks for everybody in the chat coming in.
That totally took a different turn than what I thought it would be. So that's cool.
That's all right. It was entertaining the whole way through. Hopefully.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
I thought it was.
I like guests. I really do. It makes me feel like we're doing something good. So.
Yep.
All right, man. Well, thanks, guys, for joining. That was fun. We'll have to do it again. We'll see where it leads us next time. Bye, guys.